I give God all the glory that we were able to buy a house, because none of it would have been possible without him. Even like the raising our credit thing and just finding the resources that we needed to be able to do that. What's up, y'all? It's your girl Sassy Silly Shawnie back again with another video. This time I'm switching things up just a little bit. I am back talking about the home buying process, buying a house in the pandemic, which was super duper crazy, with my hubby.
Hi everyone.
This is first time on camera, so y'all be nice, so we're just gonna be doing like a little bit of a mukbang and talking about the process. So some things that we're gonna be talking about during the video is like our experience, whether we use a realtor or not, what we're looking for in a house, and just your credit, things that are necessary that might help you guys out. So without further ado, let's get into it. Babe, like what? I think we were looking for like slightly different things when looking for a house, right? Just slightly different. So what were some of the things that you actually liked, you know, that you were looking for?
Well, first of all, I knew that we really needed at least a 3-bedroom house, 3 to 4 bedroom. And
y'all are gonna hear our baby, by the way, because the older kids are upstairs, but he has to be with us. So just don't mind the baby. So did you like? So I know I said I wanted a fireplace, right? Like, did that matter to you?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So I grew up like with a fireplace in my house, and like my mom and she would like light candles, and we'd have the fireplace going. It was like a whole ass vibe. But we had very different childhoods, so obviously that's probably why it wasn't really important to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, what about, did you care like whether like the master bedroom was upstairs or downstairs?
No, but I knew that I wanted a 1-story house.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I was not sold in the beginning. I was like, I really thought that I wanted a 2-story, and spoiler alert, we got a 2-story, but now I'm sold that I want a 1-story, because these needs are not the same needs that my aunties had when they were dancing in the club back in the day, because we're the same age, but yet they were still dropping it like it's hot, and if I go down, I might not get back up.
Yeah, I also noticed one thing I wanted was a big backyard.
Mm-hmm.
And the backyard here is not so big.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that's like normal for like a new construction home. If you guys know, if you're looking for like a home versus new construction, typically like the land size is a little bit smaller, so you don't get the big backyard that we grew up with. You get like what you get. Like when we bought this one, they gave us like what, 3 options?
Yeah.
So there was like small, medium, and large, and like literally the rest of the house was exactly the same. Everybody's house the same size, same amount of bedrooms, except the backyard.
Yeah.
So it was like, well, I'm not gonna pay like, what was it, 10,000 more for the
4,000 or 5,000
for the largest one, more than what we paid right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like who's gonna pay that much more for like I'm excuse my language, I almost said that word. For like a small backyard. Like literally, I think even if we had a dog, our dog would not be like happy with the amount of backyard we had.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like a big dog. Like it'd literally be like, what is this? And so like, do you remember when we were putting in offers, how crazy that was?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. So like there was this one house, right? And I gotta hold the baby, y'all, so like my mukbang is kind of like a little different.
Say hi, Ian.
Yeah, say hi. This is our newest addition, Ian, baby number 4. Say hi.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you if I stand him up, he'll like, all his personality will come out. He loves to be like standing up and stuff. But yeah, there was this one house, I forget the area, I think it was in North Highlands or something like that.
Which one?
The one that it was huge, and we were talking like it had a huge backyard too, and it was new construction.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was in the north area.
Yeah, and it was really, really nice. It was kind of creepy, not gonna lie, in the backyard, because like the way it was is like there was big houses around it, and the way like the backyard was, like people could see into your backyard, and it just gave me like the creeps and creeps vibes in the backyard. But I was like, I'm just gonna watch the kids if they play in the backyard. I'm not gonna let them do it like play in the backyard on their own. That house was like super nice. I think it was like what, 4 or 5 bedrooms? 4 bedrooms. Yeah. And it was upstairs, downstairs. It was huge, big, beautiful kitchen. And we put in an offer. I think what, 10K over asking?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and there was like already 17 other offers in. And that was like normal for what we were experiencing trying to buy a house in the pandemic. Like, it was ridiculous.
I think having a realtor made it a lot easier on us. What do you think? Yeah. Yeah, so I think having a realtor helped us a lot because it gave us a lot more time to still do other work, and the realtor was helping us find the house that we wanted.
Yeah, he was really patient with us. Like, we went see hell.
We saw a lot of houses.
It was, and like, it wasn't like, okay, like, y'all might know me if you know me in real life, but like, I'm not super picky, but like, I know what I want, right? So like, once that was clear, like that we weren't willing to budge on certain things, and you gotta know like what you're willing to like budge on.
Yeah.
So like, bedrooms was one of them. Like, we had to at least have 3. We wanted 4 to have an office, but this house has like a little office nook space kind of. But it's not a full-blown office, so we were willing to at least go with 3. And then like the cars, like we had to have a 2-car garage. And honestly, I feel like you don't really know what you want in a house until you start looking at homes.
Yeah.
And because like, remember when we were in the South area and we saw like tri-level homes?
Mm-hmm.
I was, no, too many stairs. I do not want to do it. Too many stairs. And I felt kind of bad. Like, working with the realtor, I was like, I felt like every time we went to a house, it was like, nope, not that, nope, not this, nope, not that. But you don't really know until you're out there doing it. And we wouldn't have found like half of those homes if we didn't use a realtor.
Yeah. And I think one part was we wasn't really committed to a certain area.
Yeah.
And so we saw houses that was almost like everywhere. So the ones that we put an offer for, but we didn't get it. Yeah, we didn't. I don't know.
Yeah, we didn't get those.
Yeah.
Except for one. He tried to come back, and this is a house that we were willing to compromise for because we needed a house. Like, rent prices are ridiculous right now. They're more than mortgage payments. So it's like, that's one of the things that pushed us to have to buy a house. Also, this little guy. So this one house, like, it was our compromise house. And we could work with it. You know, we're first-time home buyers, so it was like, you don't expect to get your dream home on a first-time buy. But, so we were like, yeah, we could do that. And they were like, no, somebody else is coming in paying cash. And then like a month later.
Couple months later.
Yeah, they couldn't verify the funds or something like that for those people. So they're like, hey, if you guys will take it, we'll give it to you. Yeah. And we're like, no. Like, first off, y'all was a compromise house to begin with. And secondly, I honestly just didn't really want an older home. Like, I'm like, there's nothing against it. Like, oh, I must have everything new. Like, if you guys know me, I'm very simple. Sal knows, like, I'm a simple woman. Like, I don't need super duper luxurious things or brand new things all the time. But I just didn't want the headache that comes with an old house. So you gotta know if you're gonna be willing to, like, maybe have to replace the roof in a couple years, have to replace the HVAC system, or, you know, take out the carpeting, put something else. And I wasn't willing to do that. I wanted, like, turnkey, move in, we're good. And with, like, a new construction home, a lot of them come with warranty. So if something happens within 10 years or 15 years, or depending on the warranty on your house, the builders will fix it. I'm like, yes, I love that. And like, I don't know, it's just so many benefits of new construction homes. Like, nobody else has lived in it. So you don't have to worry about like smoke smell being in the walls. Because we did tour some places that smell like smoke. And it's just a whole bunch of things that you don't have to worry about. Like if it has termites or dry rot. Like, those are things I never even thought of before we started looking for houses.
Yeah. Well, our credit needed some work. But I think we did really good bringing our credit up to where it was for us to be able to, you know, get what we wanted.
Yeah, definitely. So like, we didn't start out like super duper low. We were at like a good amount of credit. Like, he had already had credit established before we got married, and I was just establishing credit. But I was able to bring up both of our credit scores well over 100 points in less than a year. And I actually have a credit repair guide. So if you guys want to, you can get it in the resources in my description below. You know, when we first started looking for homes, we didn't really know if we were gonna really be able to do it. We really went by faith. This whole thing was by faith. Like, I give God all the glory that we were able to buy a house. Because none of it would have been possible without him. Even like the raising our credit thing and just finding the resources that we needed to be able to do that. So with credit, like, I know like a lot of people ask like, what's the minimum credit score? Well, that really depends on the mortgage company that you go with. How much credit do they need? He said, watch out, baby. When you gonna shake me out to dinner? So don't feel like because you have a 500 credit score that you can't get a house, because that's absolutely not true. Don't feel like you have to have the 20% down payment, because that's absolutely not true. There's lots of down payment assistance programs, as well as programs for closing costs as well. There's a ton of first-time home buyer grants and programs out there. Bank of America has one where they give you like $17,000 for a down payment if you have like a good credit score. And one of the things that they tell you when you're first looking for a house is to shop around. So look at 3 mortgage companies, see which one gives you the best like percentage rate and deal, and then go with them. So we actually found our broker or mortgage loan officer through Facebook, and she's super sweet. She was willing to answer all of our questions, so that's important, right? Like
I think it's important to have a broker that can communicate with you and let you know, like, hey, this is what you need to do and this is where you're at.
But another big thing that we usually talk about, or people ask us about, is the down payment. So like, do you remember how much our earnest money deposit was? I know some new construction homes that we looked at were like $1,000, but you remember what this one was? So yeah, I don't remember for this house, but I think for the other houses that we were looking at, the earnest money deposit was like $1,000 for the Richmond American home. Do you remember? Ouch. Do you remember what it was for this one?
I think it was 4,000.
I think that's right. Like down payment wise, that was like the only thing that we put down. And we used like the stimulus money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was like really good. Like, so if there's more stimulus or like tax seasons right now, you know, use that money. Like, don't go out and party and blow it on silly things. Like, use it to get you a home. If you're not in a position to buy a house just yet, I get it. But like, if you can put that money aside, because it's really gonna count. Like, I think the only time we put money out of pocket was for our earnest money deposit and for part of our closing costs. And so we did take some out of our 401k.
I remember you used that down payment assistance program.
Yeah, that's right. Through the mortgage lady.
Yeah.
Mortgage lady. But like, we told her like our situation, and that's one thing, is like, be super transparent with who you're working with, because then they can really help you.
Yeah.
Like some people just, you can tell if they don't care or whatever, and they'll toss you to the wolves. But with her, like, it was just so smooth and simple, and she really understood me, answered my questions, and y'all, I got a lot of questions. Fun story real quick, just to like sidetrack. When I studied abroad in Japan, now I'm the type of person to ask a lot of questions. Only when I need to understand. I'm not just gonna ask to like try and one up the teacher, or to make myself look better or anything like that. It's genuinely when I need to know, I'll ask a question. Got crap stuck in my tooth. Long story short, I was in my phonetics class in Japan. By the way, guys, these are HMONG peppers. Hella bomb, dude. Hella spicy, delicious. If you don't know, you need to find out. So yeah, I was asking questions in that phonetics class, and the teacher got mad. Like, literally, I missed like maybe 1 or 2 days of the class, like the whole semester. I got A's and B's on my papers, or not my papers, but like my tests and stuff like that. And I got, I think, a B in the class. And my friend, who didn't ask any questions but turned around and asked, like, said thank you to me for asking, because she didn't know either. She missed like 5 to 7 classes, got like B's and C's on her test, and she got an A in the class, bro. Like, what the heck? So I was telling my friends about it in the class. I was like, dude, like, what's up with that? Like, I was like, girl, you was not here that much in class, and you got an A and I got a B. And she was like, I don't know. And then I was telling my friends about it, and they're like, oh, it's because when you question the teacher like that and you ask a lot of questions, the teacher feels like you're trying to like challenge them. I was like, ugh, if I would have known that, I would have kept my mouth shut and just asked the smart kids. But I didn't do that. Like, I wanted to know, and I didn't know like the education system was slightly different in Japan than over here. So we used a down payment assistance program. And then there was even a program that we used for our closing costs too, but we did have to come out of pocket with cash with some of the closing costs. What was your expectations for like closing day? Like, did you have anything pictured in your mind of what it would look like?
Closing day?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I expected us to get the keys to the house after we did the signing, but we didn't, right?
Mm-mm.
How long did it take us to get the keys?
4 days later?
4 days later?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So I have visions of grandeur, or whatever they call you say. You see people on TikTok. obviously, like, I'm the babbling brook in the relationship. Sorry. Like, my sister-in-law literally just told my husband the other day, like Saturday, wow, Sean talks a lot. Yes, I do. But basically, like, I see, like, on TikTok, like, everybody, like, they go into the real estate office and they're signing the papers and they get this, like, big cardboard key with, like, the real estate agency or, like, the mortgage company's name on it, and they're jumping up and down and they have the keys in their hand. I literally thought that's what it's gonna be like, and I just, like, envisioned this, like, before closing, because, like, again, this whole thing was a faith walk. There was nothing that we knew 100% for sure.
Yeah.
Because we didn't even, nothing was planned. We just wanted a house. We prayed for it. We asked God. We put in the work that we could do, and we trusted Him to make everything else happen. So long story short, I was, like, envisioning, like, us driving an hour, because the real estate office or the mortgage place is, like, an hour away from us. So I imagined us driving up into the hills, going in there, me meeting my best friend, mortgage loan officer lady, like, for the first time ever, because I had never met her before. I just had her as a Facebook friend, and she was, like, helping other people get pre-approvals, and I was like, hey, I want to see what I'm pre-approved for. And I told her, like, I can't even buy, so, like, let's not even talk about that. And then she educated me, and I realized I was able to buy on faith. So I thought that was going to happen for us, but literally we had, like, a mobile notary meet us at Starbucks, and I was looking a hot mess, but it was such a blessing anyway for that to be able to happen. And the little guy, he didn't even know we were signing papers to buy a house. He just knew that he had to bring us some papers to sign. Then we were, like, had our whole house packed up already, basically in a U-Haul. Or in our house before we got the U-Haul, because we had rented it and then we had to cancel. Yeah, because closing day was, like, pain in the butt, man. Like, because closing wasn't really closing, you know what I mean? Like, there was so many things that, like, once we tried to close, they were like, oh, we need this. Try and close. Oh, we need that. Oh, this was never done, so we got to get that done. And it was just, like, it was delayed.
Yeah.
It was delayed from, like, what, May to July?
I think so, yeah.
I was so done at the end of that process.
Yeah, this process was stressful. It was not like a smooth, transition. It was just, we had to get the timing right from where we move out from our house to our new house. And
we were renting, so what? We had to keep asking the landlord for extensions and paying partial rent.
And thank God he was, like, willing to let us stay there from month to month.
Yeah, so one thing is, like, definitely, like, keep the faith during the process. There was some points that we felt like, man, this is not gonna happen. So one tip that I just want to throw in real quick is that when it comes to, like, your credit, like, that's a big part of it, but it's not everything. So one thing that you can do to get your credit score up is, if you do have high balances, pay everything down to 30% utilization. It takes sacrifice.
Yeah. Like,
something's gonna have to be sacrificed in order for you to buy a house, unless you're well off. If you're well off, then maybe not so much sacrifice. But if you're not, and you're like us, like normal people, then it's gonna take some sacrifice. Like, what are, like our Korean barbecue?
Oh yeah.
We like to take spontaneous trips, and we couldn't really do that, which was hard for us because in the middle of the pandemic, like, we usually go just, like, hole up in some hotel out of town just for fun, to give our kids, like, a change of pace, give ourselves a change of pace and some sanity, but we literally couldn't. And, like, if you're a type of person who doesn't like to have your money, like, in the bank, start putting it in the bank, because they're gonna be watching everything you do. Any type of money that you're using for this transaction, they're watching it like a hawk. Like, they like the government, but worse. Like, where does money come from? Yeah. Where did this come from, and where did that come from? And they're like, oh, if you're using your husband's money, then you have to, he has to write a letter. I'm like, a letter? This is my husband. But it's worth it. It's worth it. It's definitely worth it to be a homeowner. We'll probably make a video about, like, what we wish we knew before buying a house. Like, things we didn't know, like, we were gonna have to take care of on our own, or, it's just things that you don't really think about as a renter. You're just kind of like, oh yeah, like, I want to buy a house. That's pretty much, like, the gist of it. And, like, if you guys have, like, other questions, feel free to comment down below. Like, there's different loan types and stuff like that. I can't really answer all those questions, but if you want to get use my girl who I went through to get your house bought, then just let me know, and I can get you in contact with her. Just let me know in the comments.
I think both parties have to be on board with it.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Because of what you're doing.
Oh, with the crab?
No, but yeah, definitely be supportive of each other, because it was stressful. And yeah, I would say just have each other's back and be supportive and keep the faith.
One thing I would say is, like, keep it under wraps. Like, it could be really exciting to buy a house, but with today's market, everything's kind of up in the air, and you don't want, like, anybody trying to block your blessings intentionally. So don't tell anybody. Like, we didn't tell anybody anything.
Yeah.
And even after we moved in our new house, nobody knew until what, 4 or 5 months later, that we had even moved.
Yeah.
It's just best to keep your family or friends out of your business and just take care of business, and then you can, you know, tell them and celebrate together, because then, like, that way nobody can try and block your blessings, and you can just have like a smoother process. Because, you know, it's like kind of like if you're pregnant, ladies, and you're at the end of your pregnancy and everybody keeps asking, you still pregnant? You not done yet? Nothing yet? That baby's still in there? And you're like, shut up. Yes, that is kind of like the same feeling. Like, imagine had people known we were trying to buy and we were like closing, and we kept telling them we're closing, and they're like, y'all ain't closed yet?
Yeah.
You're like, I'm just as frustrated as you are. Be quiet. I'm in this thing for real life. You just a spectator. So that's just my last words with them. And we thank you guys for watching. We hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please like drop them in the comments below. We're more than happy to make the video. And like I said, we'll probably make a video about what we wish we would have known. Because there's like quite a few things.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when it comes to like moving and stuff like that. Especially if you don't solicit your family's help for moving. There's like a lot. And I have like Superman over here who thinks he can do everything on his own with a pregnant wife. So that will be an interesting video, and we're excited to bring that to you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and share, and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram. All right, deuces.